If you think the worst of inflation is behind us, think again. A closer look at the data from August reveals that inflation is both spreading and intensifying. 8.3%, that's the inflation number for August. And 8.3% is the lowest headline consumer price index we've had since April. But you'll notice no one is celebrating. In fact, concern about the outlook for inflation is growing. The headline number dropped largely because of a 10.6% decline in the year-over-year gasoline index. Unfortunately, that's about the only place that we are getting a break on inflation. The price of food remains a big problem. The Food at Home Index, viewed as a proxy for grocery prices, climbed 13.5% year over year in August. That's the biggest 12-month increase in more than 43 years. But the real reason why so many economists are worried about the August inflation report is because of what's going on with core inflation. Core inflation does not include food and energy prices. Economists focus on core inflation because it gives a better view on what they consider real inflation. Food and energy prices can be heavily influenced by factors unrelated to the underlying economy, such as geopolitical conflict and weather disruptions. In the view of economists, if inflation was really reducing, then it is core inflation figures that will tell the story. That was not the story told in August. As it turns out, monthly core CPI rose 0.6% in August after rising 0.3% in July. Prices for new vehicles climbed 0.8% in August compared to a 0.6% increase in July. Prices for medical care services also jumped 0.8% in August, which is twice the rate at which they rose in July. And the shelter index, which makes up roughly a third of CPI, increased 0.7% in August after climbing 0.5% in July. The core inflation numbers were hot across the board. The breadth of the strong price increases from new vehicles to medical care services to rent growth, everything was up strongly. That was the most disconcerting aspect of the report. As for where inflation goes from here, analysts do not see it returning to the Fed's 2% target anytime soon. The nation's bloated money supply, which grew by more than 40% over the past couple of years, ensures that inflation could be as high as 5% going into 2024. There had never been sustained inflation in world history that had not been the result of unprecedented growth of money supply. That is why we're having inflation now, and that's why we will continue to have inflation through 2023, going into probably 2024. Right now, the signs say that current inflation could get even worse. And that doesn't bode well for American families next month or even next year. Until next time, I suggest you take this opportunity to learn more about what's going on in the economy by attending our one-on-one educational web conference at AugustaPreciousMetals.com/webconference.